So what do you, illustration work is different between, or different than fine artwork. How do you explain that to a person who's not really artsy?
Well, illustrative is going to be realistic, very realistic, and it's not going to have like stylized strokes. It's not going to have maybe well, like this. You're not seeing everything in purple and yellow, but that's kind of the way I want to do that piece. So
right,
it's impressionism and what you want to work with it. And when I want to do a lot of color, I think I have one here.
Oh, there it is.
This one here. Yeah.
There you go.
The Salmon River. Then I really get to play and have fun. But there's still yellow and lavender.
Yeah, there's
and then the green and the
lavender on that
red.
one.
The complements are going there.
And you look like
the
you
orange
did.
and the blue.
Yeah, the reds underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, underpainting.
Undertone. Yeah.
Alizarin crimson. Yeah. It was fun to just let it peek out here and there. So.
And it looks like you put it on pretty, not thick, but there's a little texture.
Yeah. I love the texture of oil and the glistening. So, acrylic, you can use different mediums, I guess, to help glistening. But the thickness, they're just coming out with things that help that now.
Right, for the acrylics.
Yeah, with acrylics. So I prefer oil, and I've done pastels, I've done
So you experiment
watercolor.
a lot of it, and this is kind of your happy medium.
Well, this is my love.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that has the gusto,
Yeah.
No pale watercolors for me, and that kind of thing.
Well, what's worked for you over the years, like booths, trade shows, or whatever?
I really like to go through at the location with an event, or I prefer doing some galleries. I've been in some galleries, but galleries are having a hard time right now.
Yeah.
And it's more conducive to meet the person that's buying your painting. It does happen on the web. I'm surprised me every time. But usually they've seen my piece somewhere, so they know my work.
Right.
And then they can get a better feel for what's on the web and what it represents there.
Now on the web, it's just you only have one website. Are you any other websites?
Well, I'm connected with the Plein Air Painters of Idaho.
Okay.
It links, and so does TVAA link.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
that's about it right now.
That's about it right now.
Oh no, Gaia Gallery and Eagle is
Okay.
now doing the linking too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you tried AmericanFineArt.com?
I've looked at it.
Okay.
I'm wondering about it.
It's an excellent website.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a good website, but are people, selling through it? Are they?
I've heard there's people selling through it, but what the promise thing about it, you can always tell when people are looking at it because every week you get an email saying,
"Oh, that's nice.
People see this."
Sure.
And also, people, if they can't afford this piece right here, they can make a print. You can make a print out of it, out of canvas or paper or whatever, and you can get a commission off of that.
And there goes some of the problems.
Why?
That it can be taken from the web and done in some type of a manner that they can make their own prints, taking a photo and that. It can happen that way. And we've had some...
they buy the piece and take a picture of that and then print it out more?
Well, that has happened too, but I mean, they can actually take a piece from your website and reproduce it, or they can paint it like it.
Oh, on that website you can't?
Oh, good.
No, you can't.
Good,
I mean, there's no way you can do that.
We've been contacted by a few flukes. We kind of let each other know when we're hearing from people from Europe or some other countries, and it really isn't legitimate.
Right.
They always have a little something going on there that you have to be careful. So on the web, it's good and bad for both the customer and the artist. It's just a fine line you have to find.
Well, if they want to do that much trouble trying to get a copy of your copy.
You gotta think they liked it, yeah.
It's kind of I think it would be an honor, but frustrating at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. My daughter's an art professor in Berkeley area, and she is very careful what she puts on the web. And of course, a lot of hers is sculpture, and
well, you can't,
yeah, things change and ideas are taken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But the thing about art is, usually you don't replicate. You can see both of us. You'll see Dee's work. We paint the same place at the same time, and it'll look different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
No matter where you sit.
Yeah.
And also the styles are different too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any people I guess, not fans, what do I call them?
Regular patrons?
Yeah, patrons.
I do, yeah. A couple of attorneys and a resort in Florida.
Yeah.
Like some of my work to come their way for their little store they put in.
And they buy them every once in a while. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Patricia Kempthorne has one of my paintings.
at the house or at the?
Yeah, I think it's at the house. I don't think it's in. It'd have to be because they're not in office anymore.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she was a patron. Yeah, and I had a very good compliment one time. One of the professors at Boise had seen one of my paintings at Redfish, and you know, I'd buy that. And we weren't there. We happened to have a fellow who stays at the tent, you know, throughout the 3-day, 4-day event. I'd buy that, but there's a little too much red right there. So he told me about that later, and I fixed that. But critiques are one of the perks of painting together. You know, if you trust the other person, which we usually, you know, we have a good time and we help each other out. I say, well, what do you think of this? And they might say, well, maybe you should do that, or maybe you consider this. Or
so your customer picks something out, or
no, the different artists.
Yeah, artists helping artists out. Yeah.
You learn. You really grow by leaps and bounds by painting with others.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that is a benefit of growing with an organization.
So you should, if you're a growing artist, you should try to go to get out and talk to other artists.
It's important.
Go to the meetings.
Yeah, and it's exhilarating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always brings new ideas and appreciation. It's always glad to see too.
Well, yeah, I like inputs.
Yeah.
A lot of times I like bad inputs.
Yeah.
Because you don't grow if it's always good.
That's right, like the little red spot.
Yeah. Do you have any future goals that you want to beat? Or a wish list?
I have a wish list. I have a wish that Boise would have the first plein air painting museum. Some galleries have, you know, plein air painting, impressionist paintings, but it isn't just that.
It's all...
It's everything.
Yeah.
And I know when I went to France, and the impressionist wing was closed when I went there. In Paris, I couldn't believe it. I said, oh, we didn't have enough workers. This is probably the only time I'll be here. How can you say that I'll work? Anything. But yeah, so I would like to see that because it would bring people from all over the nation and internationally. There's an international plein air painting group together and to paint at each other's locations, see their styles and how they work. And it'd be good for the community.
Yeah.
So that's something I'd like to see because Idaho's beautiful and a lot of people are finding that out. But it's nice to preserve the things that may not be there 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So you do that with your painting.
Yeah. What else can you teach an artist? I mean, to get in the art world or would school, I mean, if you go to college, you think it would help out?
I think it helps credentialing. I think it helps help you develop your style. But at first, you'll find, at least my daughter's case, when she was undergrad and graduate and now teaches, a lot of it is where you're focused. You'll have exercises to do, but it's really up to you to put your input in there and be creative. It's not a rote situation.
Right.
You don't go anywhere. So, and it's also a good thing that they have practicing artists on staff. I mean, they're producing their work, they're selling their work, just as nursing was when I was a staff professor. You had to be working somewhere in order to teach because it just makes you more in contact with what's going on other than academically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think combination is great. Experience is always something that comes later. And that's the whole key is experience.